I wrote a poem over many years. It took me 1/4 of a century to write this poem. For 25 years, this poem became, and then it was ready, and then I wrote it down in 15 minutes. I released the poem and let it go. In 2020, my poem was published in an anthology titled My Teeth Don't Chew on Shrapnel, a collection of poetry written by veterans, many of them women like me. I began to write when I was a girl, drawing pictures and sketching stories, little poems about girls who had lost something and about their search to recover it. I write to know what I think, how to feel. Joan Didion wrote this. For me, it's something else.
Decades diving into the abyss with flowers at our feet and weather-beaten faces. We were warriors shining in the sun, tired from swinging stones. Intimate demon, dancing, glowing in the gray.
I have been facilitating free writing workshops for veterans since 2015. One thing I've discovered about women veterans, every woman has a story. And some men too.
Our warriors in training tied weights to their ankles so they could walk the ocean floor so disciplined and strong. But they forgot how to take off their weights and how to breathe on the surface.
One day I wake to an email. Subject, fame, body. Hello, I've written to let you know that you're famous. I laughed at the loose translation of the term fame. The head of the poetry department at Oxford Brookes University wrote to say my poem that took me 25 years and 15 minutes to write had been reprinted and discussed in a research article by the Canadian Royal Military Academy.
Trying so hard to solve unsolvable problems, bigger than both of us. I'm sure you were probably confused as to why I had so many questions. And why I was even there in the first place. You made me feel like a most welcome guest. I am humbled. For having so little, you smiled so big. For having so little, your mother was so generous. For living amongst the dangers, you were so resilient for living in those conditions. You were so content. Where are you now?
Have you ever read or heard a line that brings you to your knees? I can transmute my desire, not just trauma. I can transpose and transmute my desire onto the page, into stories, into art. My stories are not mine alone, even if they seem so.
Dark Matters by Jennifer Sierra. Twinkles in the sky, lights strewn across the dark horizon. Like multicolored fireflies, the beauty of her city skyline was all she knew, until she saw the darkest dark of desert hues. In a war-torn land, she lay upon a cold concrete barrier, her eyes set on the gaze, never suspecting the stars would betray her. But that betrayal is a story best saved for another day.
Perhaps our stories are not ours to keep. A few weeks after the first email from Oxford, I wake to another. Hello, I've written to let you know you're more famous. An author and professor, also a veteran from Tel Aviv, has written about my poem in his book, Poetic Prosthetics, Trauma and Language in Contemporary Veteran Writing. He hopes for my blessing. I ask to read what he has written, 3 dense pages of discussion in a chapter titled War Life, Life as War. It is a strange thing for me to read this man's interpretation of my poem. He writes, "The poem functions as Lorente's prosthesis, as her speaker shifts from an indexical, traumatic, disoriented view of her own body to a position of a kind of reclaiming and ownership."
When the call came to serve her country, it was a citizen that stood up, not a woman. When choices were given and duties handed out, there was a patriot that volunteered, not a female. Every test, every mile, every bullet, every drop of blood, every sacrifice is somehow weighted less. Every success tinged with skepticism, every failure somehow foreseen. She signed up to give this country her life if needed. Instead, they shamed and muted her identity. Then welcome home the men that won't acknowledge you and women that can't relate to you. Her only truths are that violence is pure and her duty was sacred.
And I cry when he describes one of my lines as a broken down, incomplete, indexical sentence. My body is in a manner that resembles Emily Dickinson's use of the index, such as in, "Without this, there is not." It is, in other words, an amputated sentence, one indicating not the certainty of meaning, but the search for a meaning. Meaning that has been severed in the wake of a traumatic experience of violence.
In line at the mess hall at Hanau, the lead line cook, a slim, grizzled man, says, "I have a message for you. Meet me out back after dinner." On my plate, a mound of boiled yellow potatoes, soft splay of salt and fruit. My belly, once ready, is coiled, nervous, refusing the heap.
I have a message for you. Meet me out back after dinner. On my plate, a mound of boiled yellow potatoes, soft splay of salt and fruit. My belly, once ready, is coiled, nervous, refusing the heap. I wonder not at the Bosnian War, another religious faction, but at the mysterious message this cook carries, and whether I'll receive it. He is not my chain of command. I need not meet him. Behind the mess hall, he says, "Meet the officer at midnight." The sky is already darkening behind him, the silhouette of two hawks circling. I stand near the metal doors only he can return through.
The sky is already darkening behind him, the silhouette of two hawks circling. I stand near the metal doors only he can return through.
All these converge, he writes. The existential, the personal, the corporeal, into a making real, a prosthetic kind of real, and a regaining, perhaps reclaiming, of her own body. I have wanted to return to the time when I was a girl and free of my idea of self. I simply was. Can I return to her, to that?
Whenever I could, as much as I could, I galloped my horse across the winter-cut field. I plunged my hands into the garden earth. I slept beside the campfire, safe on my own farm. My worst foe, a copperhead or black bear. I fostered tiny orphan kittens, moved to tears by their determination to live. I breathed in the smoky light of fall and realized this year is a wheel that brings me back to a new type of wholeness, outside.
He liked your smile, the cook said. Wait by the phone at midnight. What then? What if I had not listened, disobeyed the oblique command? We only choose what we know, what our bodies know. Our choices, perhaps, have been predetermined by what has come before. What else is there but what I choose? The light finds me here on days I feel like hiding. Some days, many days, I do not wish to be seen. But the light slips through the crack in my curtains and finds me here. And I realize she is a part of me, my young self. I accompany her, and she accompanies me. I do not abandon her. I believe the only real choice is this: fear or love, fear or love. Each day, each moment, we can choose this.
I remember when I lost my mind. There's something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions at an echo. So does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly.